Take a breath in and just relax. Surrender to the peace that is inside of yourself. Know that all is governed by the one mind, the one power, and the one presence. And by reflection you contain all that is needed. Wherever you stand is holy ground. None of the fears that you see, smell, hear, taste, or touch have any power. There is no life contained in anything that is lacking for good. Turn within to the I am presence, the self within, the living Christ, the overflowing waters of joy, peace, and love are always rushing forward to meet every human need. Your source of supply is forever within yourself. Nothing outside of you exists as your good. All of the riches, all of the love, all of the harmony is within the idea that you are contained in the mind of God. And nothing can move you out of that place. You are loved. You are the being in the togetherness of divine love. And nothing shall harm you, and nothing shall impede your progress. Your ascension to the Father is guaranteed as long as you keep your eyes off of the troubles out there and on the presence within. This is the journey home. The Lord has called you, and you are safe. Now. Hola.
Hola.
Actually, Michelle speaks Spanish.
Sí.
Say something to him in Spanish.
Hablo español.
No hablo español. Muy poquito.
¿Poquito?
Yeah. So, it's a nice day. It's a beautiful lake. We finally found a lake here. We've actually walked this lake before and I forgot all about it. But isn't that nice? I was missing that. I didn't have that in the Fond du Lac area until I remembered, hey, we've done this like 15 or 20 times already probably.
So welcome to Lakeside Park.
That's right.
I used to come here when I was younger. This is one of my favorite places to come.
Nice. Well, it is very beautiful and there's less wind, so without the microphone this might work for us. So, in world news today, continuation of the meltdown is happening. And yeah, I don't know. Don't even want to pay attention to it, to be honest with you. It kind of feels like a distraction from something else. So, kind of excited about what's coming with the invite. Got an invite from Tracy Jaco to participate in the Truth Tour. So I think we're going to do that. That's going to be July 18th in Des Moines, Iowa. And potentially July 24th in Las Vegas, Nevada. They're going to be doing 22 what is it, 30 cities in 22, or no, 22 cities in 30 days, something like that? Something like that.
22 and 30.
22 cities in 30 days. Obviously, I can't do 22 cities in 30 days. Just way too much for me, but maybe two. and then we'll bring it home and land it at the Lovers Retreat. So that'll be fun.
I'm excited.
So what is it that you want to teach, Michelle? What is it that we're gonna do? If I'm a person saying, what am I actually gonna do there?
What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
It's definitely still unfolding,
It
right?
is, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna do what God wants us to do. How about that answer?
I like that.
Yeah, but we're living in tough times right now. I'm just thinking about everything that's going on in the world. And as a teacher, as a mother, I look at our children, I look at our students, and I continue to say, this world is so different than the world I grew up in. And sometimes I have a really hard time even relating. Even just like the school shootings and the safety drills that we now have to do. My school this year, for the first time, conducted safety drills where we pretended that there was an intruder, and we made children run outside. And it's just kind of unreal that we've gotten to this point. And I think about what our children are experiencing, and their view of the world is just so uncertain, so unpredictable. And I feel like us as adults, like we're kind of in shock that that's what is happening, because that hasn't been our reality. But really, our children are growing up in this reality, and they really know nothing else. They know from one day to the next. Somebody might have COVID symptoms, somebody might not. Maybe somebody's quarantined, maybe somebody needs to wear a mask, maybe you're not supposed to wear a mask. There's just this level of unpredictability. And in fact, today I was teaching students religion in one of our teaching buildings. So I was teaching 6th grade, and the 5th graders were downstairs. All of a sudden, we heard pop, bang, 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 and then screams and screams. And students immediately looked at me with a look of concern on their face. And I mean, I didn't panic, but because I thought, it sounds like balloons, okay? So I calmly just kind of walked to check, make sure everybody was okay downstairs. Sure enough, it was balloons. But, if that would have happened maybe 20, 25, maybe 30 years ago, nobody would have thought anything of it. But the looks on those students' faces when they turned towards me today was a look of, are we okay? Are we safe? Should we run for, should we run for our lives?
It's like this feeling of somebody coughing in the room too.
Yes. Remember that? I remember that. We first were able to be back in person in our classrooms, and somebody would sneeze or cough, and everybody would look at them.
It's over. It's over.
Like, are you kidding me?
You just killed the whole room. What did you do? Yeah.
Yeah. And we had like practices where we like would sneeze into our elbow, and here's how you sneeze properly, and here's how you cough properly. But it's just the world we live in, is quite unpredictable, and it gives us this feeling of fear and unpredictability and uncertainty. So where does that take us?
Well, it takes us to the banking system where my Ponzi is better than yours. That's the reality of like the whole economic system is my Ponzi is better than yours. Bill Gates said that all crypto was the game of greater fool theory, which means that the dumber person has to buy it from you at a higher price in order for you to make money on it. But that's the way everything is. That's how the whole system is rigged. It's all designed that way. Always has been. This is not new. So I think this has always been kind of this way. We're just now seeing it much more. It really is not any different than it has ever been. It's just so visible now that you get to realize how insane the whole thing is. But speaking of the Truth Tour, I'm excited about this because this kind of came along at a time Michelle and I were talking about, stepping forward in this ministry that we're doing. And I can't wait to present for you guys while we do it together. There'll be music, right? She's got the music covered. There'll be great inspiration and transformation. We are in the age of transformation. But we got to hammer some things out. We got to run some concerts, We got to run some venues where we can do what we do. And the crazy thing about it is that we do this like every morning. We get up while we're, I take the Mocaine. Michelle makes me some Mocaine. And I get up and I'm like, okay, let's talk. And then we go into that, whatever it is. What do you think that is? How is it so good in the morning? How do we just get there in the morning so easily?
Because you're too tired at night?
Yeah. She tells too much truth. She's not allowed on the Truth Tour. Michelle just tells too much truth. We got to put her in the back room. Thanks for the vocals, Michelle. No, we saved you a spot in the back, actually. What do you mean I'm too tired? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I used to always pride myself in how much we got to give these guys some street cred back here. I used to always stay up late, and now I used to make fun of people. They get tired at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I'm looking at myself at like 9:30, and I'm like, yeah, I think I want to go lay down. I was like, what, did Grandpa take over or something? I'm like, no. It's too bad we can't walk by those boats over there. It's kind of like a mini Sheboygan. So, never fails. It's always the attention seeking. Listen to my engine roar. All right, well, anyway, let's get down to some dropping some ideas, all right? So you said the other day, I teach reflection. And I thought that was the best thing you could have ever said, because everything I've been looking at for about 3.5 years now has been all about reflection. So what does that mean to you? What does reflection mean to you?
Well, on the outside, facade. I teach music. I teach kindergartners and first graders, second graders and third graders.
How to handle guns, right?
Of course.
Yep.
And I teach piano lessons. So I've been teaching piano lessons for over 20 years now. And I do a little bit of yoga. I've taught religion for grades kindergarten through 8. I've been a classroom teacher for kindergarten and second grade and third grade. And I've homeschooled also, all subjects, all 4 of my kids. So on the outside surface, that's what it looks like. But really,
like what you really do is what we're going to talk about.
But what I really do is I'm just giving students the tools that they need to find happiness and have what they need to succeed and continue to grow. So whatever that is, in whatever subject, in whatever venue that is, ultimately it's really guiding them through this self-awareness process. So I think it's neat that we've come to a place in education where especially because of how technology is utilized in our society, we realize, as much as we know, as much information we can memorize, we'll really never know everything, and I think it's great that we've gotten to that point where, the human brain can only know so many facts. There's a limit, because there's always maybe new facts or new information or new research. And we've come to a point where, we don't know it all. So if we don't know it all, what are we going to do? And is it really important that we try to know it all? And what's useful, what's not useful. So, really what's most important.
Well, you know how I approach the situation.
He was not a good student in school, let's just be honest.
Oh, I wasn't there. We don't want to talk about planning. Okay. No, I would have been a good student if you were teaching, but unfortunately, I didn't have that opportunity.
Well, maybe I am teaching you right now.
See, I went back to school, you guys. I decided to go get my education at last. I picked my teacher.
So when I teach, each piano lesson, I'll let them warm up and I'll ask them reflective questions. I'll say, well, on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you think you did? And they're always like, what do you mean, how do I think I did? You're the teacher, you tell me how I did. No, you need to decide how you think you did. And is there anything more, better, or different that you could have done? So,
which way should we go?
Left.
Left, okay.
So, and they know. And most of the time they're honest,
They are?
Most of the time.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Fiona's not always honest, though.
That's tough. So then you got to keep asking more questions.
Okay.
And you have to look at them with that look.
Like
that they know.
What look is that?
Because you're looking deep within them.
Uh-huh.
You look them straight in the eyes and you give them that look. Like, really?
Is that the look you give me when I talk to?
Because I know, and then I tell them, well, I'm asking you this question, but I actually really do know the answer. I'm just, seeing if you're gonna really be open and upfront about it. So, and I'll tell them, and they'll be like, yeah you got me, They'll be like, I only practiced for about 10 minutes. I'm like, that's what I thought.
They come clean.
So
is that where the reflection kicks in, is when they start to come clean?
Well, it teaches them honesty and humility.
That's it.
And because I've had students that want to try to fake it. They're like, oh, I totally practiced every day this week. And I'm like, no, I can totally tell within the first few seconds how much they practiced, And so some of them will, they'll try to keep going and pretending like they totally practiced all week. And so then, I let them pretend for a little while until, I'll give them that look. And I'll look them, straight in the eyes, deep, and say, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How much did you really practice? So then they'll be honest.
Well, honesty and humility, I think. Well, for me, the biggest thing I've learned since our time together is humility. I think the emperor has no clothes is probably the way I'd describe it best. Is I find myself in situations where I'm like, maybe I should look at that. Maybe I should face that. It's really easy just to run off and do something else. But maybe I should just stare at that and figure out what that is once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how we grew, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
It's reminds me of a boat with holes in it, right? It's just kind of sinking, but you don't realize it's sinking right away until you start to feel wet all over, and you're like, well, I think we got a problem here. But I think a lot of people are just in a boat with holes in it, but they don't really notice their feet getting wet because they're so busy intoxicated at some level. Usually these days people are intoxicated on something. 3 out of 5 people are looking for drugs at every minute of the day on statistical average. So what I think is we've become a nation, or a collective group of distracted people. And distraction is the only way to defeat your enemies, to distract your opponent. So once you distract someone, you break their focus, or you control their focus, and at that point you have them. And so we go back full circle to our talk is, where's people's focus right now? What is the primary thing? Well, it's the economic collapse, it's the COVID sneeze, cough, whatever, injection, or it's the, oh, is my school going to get shot up this week? It's, where's our focus being led to, and where should our focus be? So the title of my video today was Love is the Opportunity Amid the Troubles that you're facing, right? That's what I'm discovering, and that's what you've really helped me narrow back my focus to.
Well, I love you, but you're not perfect.
I'm not perfect.
No. And humility is owning it, right?
Oh yeah, I do own it.
And you do.
Yeah.
You do.
But I think that's what gives you power, is your vulnerability, isn't it?
Yeah.
It allows you to really tap into a divine strength that you would not otherwise have access to. Because ego is really not power. It's just false, pretentious, braggadocio or whatever you call it. It's like, oh, the ego's here. Well, great. I know nothing's going to get accomplished now. The ego showed up,
Mm-hmm.
But when we let that down and we really face that inner pain that we've been running from for me, for my whole adult life, what is that pain? What is that pain? What is it that we're running from? What are we running from? What is it that possibly could be there other than the presence of love? Because love is all there is. We're running from love.
And I would say we're running from the truth.
But that's truth and love. Those are 2 names for God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we running from God? And where are we running to?
Where are we running to?
Let's cut.
Okay.
So imagine this. Imagine this scenario. Imagine God gives you everything you want. You've been praying for it for years. You get it. But then the trouble starts to show up, and you put all your attention on the trouble, and it carries you off into some distant land, and you're in a funk and a trauma, right? Have you seen me do that?
Several times.
Exactly. So why does that have the ability to steer me in that direction even remotely for a moment? Why is that possible? See, these are some of the things we get to cover in our workshop. These are some of the things that people should uncover within themselves, because if you can get carried off for a fleeting moment now, just wait till things get a lot worse out there. People in this country, especially in the US, they've had it really good for a long time. They don't know what real suffering is, what having to do without really looks like. And my only concern is that I wouldn't be doing the ministry any service at all if I didn't foresee that that's going to happen in lots of cases, and then wonder, well, where's the equipping for this? How do we equip ourselves for this, right? Mm-hmm. Now here's the contrary side of that. What if what if I had the resources and the tools within myself that when the bottom falls out and everything collapses and everybody's saying the worst of all, what if I just turned to love and I just said, well, I'm okay because love is here right now. And what if I gave all my attention and my energy to that? What's the worst that could happen?
So tomorrow,
Yes.
we're going to start a gratitude journal together,
Mm-hmm.
focusing on the blessings
Mm.
in our life,
Yes.
you know? And really, I feel like love is a blessing, you know? And I feel like friendships are a true blessing. You know, I don't feel like we do anything to really earn or deserve them. What do you think about that? Do we do anything to earn or deserve friendships or loving relationships? Or is it a pure gift?
I believe it's at first a gift and then something we have to appreciate. And through that appreciation and gratitude, as you say, that's how we maintain and even build upon it. I mean, imagine, okay, what if you were given a healthy body and then you went and poisoned it every day, right? You just destroyed your gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't do that with your friendships either.
Mm-hmm.
You can't toxically show up. You can't show up as the cancer that spreads in your network. You must be the answer to the problem that people are looking for without even having to talk about a problem. And what would that be? That's joy. That's peace, love, kindness, the fruits of the Spirit. Show up as that, as the solution. And I think by showing up as the solution, you become the value in your network. Back of everything people desire, they're looking for equality. I don't want $10 million. I want to feel free as the wind forever. You see what I'm saying? I don't want a perfect body. I want to be loved. You see? Those are things that I'm really looking for. So we got to show up as the real. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Authentically real.
And so whatever's standing in the way of that has to go. And I think the Lover's Retreat is the ultimate way to bring up whatever's standing in the way of that in a safe place where you can do it with love and really drive down some new attitudes and behaviors that will help you be that person that you want to be, that authentic version of you. So what are the words? Remember what we were talking about? That you said you really like?
I love the phrase, the being in togetherness.
Being in togetherness. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that togetherness, the being in togetherness is love, because we are eternal beings of light and love. And so that interconnected harmony within all of creation is the love that is the being in togetherness, and we have to be that. And the world has to do that. One way or the other, it's going to head in that direction, because that's the way God has always been.
Maybe that's the great reset.
Well, that's the real great reset. Poverty and calamity come, I talked about it today, from greed. And greed is not just for rich people, greed is also for poor people. Because greed is an irresistible desire to possess something. And what can you possibly possess if God has all and contains all and it all belongs to God? What can you possess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's on gift, like you said. God gives it to you as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
So don't destroy your Christmas, right?
Only 6 months away.
That's right. Don't destroy your Christmas tree, which is the tree of life. It's the interconnectedness with all the ancestral network connections that are tied through your lineage. All of that's in your DNA, all of that's in your programming. And you have to go back and you have to redo that contract, redo the programming. Otherwise it becomes unconscious because it's out in the open where you can't see it with a linear logical mind. You can only see the lie when you're looking at the truth, when the carnal mind's in play. But when you snap out of it and you make the unconscious conscious, it doesn't become your destiny anymore. Otherwise it is your destiny. And then you go through the same relationship again and again and again with just a different version of that same you that you're reflecting back to you, because you are reflecting through your partner. Would you agree?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. That's right. And most of the time is a quite substantial amount. So, what do you want to conclude with?
Can we pray?
Yeah, let's do that. Why don't you lead that?
How about you?
All right. So, Father, within me, the I am, I know that you are leading us into the proper place because there are no mistakes anywhere in God's mind. I trust that you are bringing forth everything required, and I know that all is well, and I ask that you help me settle that in my heart and in the hearts of everyone listening. Let that be known as the only truth in my world. It is done.
And so it is.
That's right. All right, well, we're going to check out and just walk a little more, and we'll see you on the next transmission. Bye-bye.
Namaste.
Okay, we're on. We should do another one of those walk for 30 minutes and no talk. Like I
Walk with us.
Like I did on the beach.
Go on a walk with us.
Yeah, just come on a walk with us. This is just casual. We're going to talk about stuff.
This is the perfect weather. We're in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. This is what we live for. Days like today, the birds are singing. There's a beautiful breeze. The sun is shining. A few happy, fluffy clouds in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And a beautiful man next to my side.
Where?
He went that way.
Okay. I better get rid of him. Not good with competition circling around here. So guess what I did today that you don't know about?
You ate something naughty.
No. You would suspect that, but it was actually different, much different. Guess you give you 3 guesses.
Okay.
You get 2 more.
All right. Guess what you did today?
Mm-hmm. That you don't know about.
That I don't know about.
Yep.
Well, let's see here. That would mean it was probably between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
So you have to make a guess what you
Okay.
think it is.
Okay. You you took a nap.
Oh, that would have been awesome. No, but I mean, I'll narrow your window of time down.
Okay.
Okay. So you sent me 2 texts today,
Uh-huh.
and it has to do with those texts.
Okay. Maybe you made a phone call.
I did.
Okay.
You're getting warm. I'll let you expand on that.
And you talked to somebody.
I did.
Somebody answered your
Oh,
phone
yes.
call.
You're getting
Okay.
really, really close
Well,
to the target now.
I know what I sent you. I sent you 2 links to some really neat retreat resorts.
Yes.
And they both looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And so you called. You know what? I think it was maybe the same phone number, possibly, that kind of owns and operates these facilities. So maybe you have inquired and got some information.
You're close.
Okay.
I did get information. Actually, you're right.
Okay.
But I even did better than that.
Okay.
So I booked the Blue Lotus.
Yay. The Blue Lotus?
Yes.
Really? I thought it was booked.
I talked them out of it.
Seriously?
Yeah. I talked them into what I want.
Oh.
They were booked, but I got them to open up Friday and Saturday from 4 to 8 for Allow Ministries, which is a
Wow.
better time because it's usually hot in the daytime and it cools off at night,
Okay.
and it's much more romantic and much more intimate.
Okay.
And I got rights to use the kitchen and everything for preparing meals, and so we can
Wow.
explore all of the things to do there, including meals. And so yeah, we're in.
Okay.
I got it.
This place looks amazing.
So tell me about what you thought about Blue Lotus and what you liked.
Okay. Well, all along, I've been picturing sort of a very just earthy type of retreat that's really just connected with nature, because I feel like that's a big part of who we are. We love being in nature, and we love hiking and walking and being around water and just enjoying all of God's creation. So I guess all along I've been picturing this, a little bit more like a wilderness nature setting that's, tranquil and revitalizing, rejuvenating. When I think of retreat, that's really what I think of. A place of rest, rejuvenation.
So what I was talking about was Michelle is working out some details to come with me, and we're figuring out how we're going to do the truth. What is it called? The truth. Yeah, no, it's but it's a different website. It's truth. I don't know what's it called. It's in the link below. If you're watching this video, it's in the link below. Okay. But you should go. You should come. If you can come see us or come see anybody who's in it, it's really great. Michael Jacob's wife invited me to come and got me in touch and said that this would be a great venue to participate with, and they're doing 22 different cities in 30 days. Is that what it is?
22 and 30.
Yep. And obviously Michael Jacob was going to be on the venue. It's going to be amazing. He's always amazing. And I want to bring my A game and Michelle, and we're going to talk about what we're working on and make a presence. And that's July 18th in Des Moines, Iowa. And July 24th is the big event in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we'll be there at the big event in Las Vegas, Nevada. They're doing a morning music ceremony. I think I'm going to see if I can get you to participate in some of the music stuff. I think that would be extraordinary. Michelle is a musical genius, like truly gifted, and can move the Holy Spirit, really just move you. And you have to experience this. It really is something you should see and experience. So if you guys can come, you should come. And you should come to the Lovers Retreat. I know people might be wondering, what are we going to do? Like, what's it all about? And we're trying to break that down right now. So, if it were me, and I were in a relationship with someone, considering where we're heading with the world stage right now in the outer, I would want to be in the connected and togetherness with not just my partner, but with a community of people that I could build this network with to go forward.
Yeah, we're on a mission.
We are on a mission.
And we're on a journey, and we want you to come with us.
That's right. And connect with us. You really want to be connected in these times. To be disconnected and isolated, it severs your power. It really does.
And there's so much loneliness in the world right now, and we see it. It's really a tragedy right now. It's a big issue in our culture, in our world, and I feel like It is. It's really tragic to feel alone, but I also feel like it's even worse to feel alone when you're in a relationship.
Yep. Yeah, just because you have people around you doesn't mean you feel connected. So the one thing we're going to be working on, which you might find interesting, is we're going to not be connecting on a human level. We're going to be connecting through the higher self. And we're going to focus on connecting in that dimension the whole time. And that's where I've never gone before in a venue. We've had moments of it. We've had breakout experiences of it. But this is the idea, is to do it and keep doing it the whole time. And just see what happens. So when I was talking to Vernon Wolf, and he was mentoring me about how to prepare for this event, because he is one of the premier experts in the world on relationships. So I went to him for some counsel, and very, very intelligent man. And he went into his higher self and explained to me all of the deets, all the details for this event. And now it's coming together. The Blue Lotus retreat is available to us. We've got the perfect venue from 4 to 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday night. We're most likely going to move the hotel. So if you did book at that hotel, that's fine. We can organize and orchestrate a ride for you and make it happen. But we're going to move the venue hotel because when I went to go visit the area, I felt like it's going to need quite a bit of prayer before it's ready for what we're bringing to it. You know, right by the airport in Milwaukee, there's a little bit of, I guess you could say, like gangbanger central. It's kind of what it felt like. People were outside of the hotel, and these are not bad hotels, but they were outside of the hotel. I could smell the marijuana, and I could just feel the energy as if like we just don't care anymore. And I don't like that energy. I want to be in an energy that's peace, and I want to be in an energy that's prosperous and nurturing. Yep. And loving. So we can pray about it, and we could change the vibe, but what's happening around the airports is it's the gangbangers from Chicago are coming in, and they're running through the hotels. And Milwaukee was one of the worst hit areas back in 2020 when everything was just getting looted and destroyed. And I think a lot of that vibe is still really heavy, and the presence is really heavy there. And I don't want to be having to clean up that during our retreat. So we're going to move the venue. How far is it? Like 20 miles or 20 minutes to West Bend from the airport? Yeah, it's about 25 minutes from the airport. So we're going to move the venue to West Bend or somewhere near that area because that's where the retreat's at. And West Bend is really nice. The places we're looking at now are going to be at the scale that we want them to be at. You know, no offense to the gangbangers, but I just feel like there's a better way to do things. And I could just feel when I walked in, I could feel the vibe of not where we're going to be doing our love retreat. So that was the big breakthrough moment yesterday. I drove out and made it happen and checked it out. Wasn't really vibing it. So everything will fall in place. And yeah.
Good job.
That was a long drive. That was 3 hours of car time. Probably like $50 in gas. Better now than when it's 500, you know. So. Oh, by the way, with your admission, if you get the pre-sale, you're going to be able to have your dinner Friday and Saturday, since we'll be preparing it. Allow Ministries will provide that for you. But you'll have to participate in helping us cook it because we're all going to make it together. It's going to be one big family dinner. That's what it's going to be. So you just bring yourself, bring some snacks, grab a lunch, whatever you want to do, and we'll get dinner for you. And we'll make it nice and filling, and you'll have a great night. And bring your lover. Bring your lover. And if you don't have a lover, bring a friend. And if you don't have a friend, well then you should just come come and be with us, because that's what we'll be there for. We'll be your friend. We'll be your love center. We'll put you in the center of our love, and we'll carry you through the whole event.
Amen.
That's right. All right, so that was that. What other things are we working out here?
I don't know.
Well, maybe I should just tell a little bit of the story here.
Okay.
We should just...
Before you do,
Okay.
I do have something to say
Yes.
to you
To me.
and to all of the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you.
And we need strong fathers in our world and in our lives more than ever now, for protection, security, and to be our leaders in faith. And I want to say, I think you're a great dad, Matthew.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. I see your love and your patience, and I see you as the leader of faith for your children, and I see you inspiring my own children. And I just want to say thank you to all of the caring fathers out there, godfathers, stepfathers.
Can I be the
Thank you.
godfather? I'm just kidding. Seriously though, yeah, that was beautiful.
So thank you. I really mean it. Thank
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Well, I think I inspired Ephraim with my hat that I wear all the time, that he might start wearing baseball hats and stocking hats and all this. He might assume that it makes him faster. I have a feeling it's going to be about a year or two before I get beat on that hill. I'm going to enjoy my victory while it lasts. So, well, yeah, that was beautiful. And what I sense is that if you want to be the change in the world, and you really want to tap into that masculine strength, it does not come from hubris or from intellect. It has to come from your heart. You really have to love. You really have to care about, doing the will of God. You really have to be centered in that space. And you have to be principle-based. So, it reminds me of a story of a friend of mine, and his name is Matt Sanders, and he's actually going to come and he's going to teach his trading system. He's been in Bitcoin for years and years and years, and he's got this trading down to a science, and how to profit when it crashes, how to profit when it goes up. Well, anybody can profit when it goes up, but when it crashes, you really have to know what you're doing. And so I'm working behind the scenes with his groups that he has, and I'm going to help organize some stuff to help people tie into those signals and help do whatever we can do to capture some of these movements that people want to just play the game. It's fun sometimes. Not fun for everybody. But anyway, one of the things he said is, to be a good trader, you have to be principle-based and not emotional or even, speculative. You really got to leave those things out. Principle-based is so much more challenging than you can admit. One of the things he told me with humility is, he says, he goes, when I was up several million here, he goes, I got a little out of my principle for a bit, and I paid the price. See, the thing is you can get out of principle when times are going really good, and you certainly will fall out of principle when times are going very bad. However, one thing that Vernon told me is, he says that when you are being with the togetherness, and you are rooted in the principle of love, operating from your higher self, and you learn how to operate from your higher self, not only will you be given clarity and focus and a proven plan of action from your higher self, but you will also find yourself much easier to hold your principle. And he said that's the only way to be sustaining yourself in the coming times. And he said that's what the age of the great transformation is we have to move to that love center. Otherwise, we're not going to make it through these times. And I really feel that that's a true thing. How do I know? Because I've been studying God and the scriptures, and I've been, flowing and doing these things for years, spending hours a day on this. And I have a lot to learn here. I'm going to tell you that humbly. I have been shaken off my peg quite a few times in the past few months. And the work that we're doing now, the work that Michelle's helping me work with together, what we're doing, our relationship is about reflection from that space of love. And it's a cleaning that takes place. All of the debris from all of your past that you think happened outside of God's perfect allness, it drives a behavior through your personality, and all of that's got to go. All of it.
And it's not easy, and it's quite uncomfortable.
It is.
At times.
But we found a way to do it. I don't know how we do it. God does. And God's going to teach us through the experience of doing it. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do the experience of doing it with us. And that's something I said to Vernon too, is I said, Vernon, I think I get it. I took pages of notes. I'm like, yeah, I can teach this. I get this. And he says, well, listen. He goes, when you get into your higher self, and I call it my flow state. He calls it the higher self. Full potential self. Yes, that's what he says. You call it the higher self.
I like this one.
She says higher self. Vernon says full potential self. I just call it my flow state. When we get into that space, everything is already taught. There is nothing to think about. And so all we have to do is show up and get into that space. And he says, for Matthew, he goes, for 30 years, he goes, I've never prepared a talk. He goes, there's no reason to. He goes, I get into my full potential self, and it just flows. And I said, ironically enough, when I make videos and I get in my flow, it just comes too. So that's what we do. We just get into the flow, the higher self, the full potential self, call it whatever you want. That should be your mission. Your mission should be get into your, whatever you want to call it, your flow, and come to the event. Or don't, because it's your choice. But we want you to be there. We don't know what God's planning, but I have this feeling that it's going to be better than you expect. And it's probably going to be a lot better than we expect. I'm just starting to feel it now. I'm starting to feel the sense of God's hand moving this thing together. And that's when I know that it's going to happen. So, with that said,
I love you.
Oh, I love you. So you guys, we want you to be here with us. Anything else you want to tell them?
If you don't know, just pray about it.
That's right.
See what God wants, not just from you, but see what God wants for you.
Right. What does God want for you? Well, we'll leave you with that, and we'll see you next time.
Namaste.
Ciao, Bella.